developers are losing themselves in a humble business they started with their hard-earned money, their strength, their skill, their everything, and now everybody is tagging developer. There are so many people, they just enter their social media handle and all they talk is developer this, developer that. I see all this and I cry for developers because in Nigeria it's like there's nobody to talk for them. So we have to come out and start talking for ourselves. What we are going through. Many of us are not smiling. It's not all of us that are scammers. We have lost our hard-earned money in this country because we don't want to japa. We don't want to go and be working. Some even work 5 jobs or whatever and come back here and look at where we are. They have come back to zero. Anybody wey no get liver, make you no venture into Lagos real estate as a developer because you will die before the business starts. Between 2015 thereabout to 2020, you notice that boom. Why was that? Private sectors came into this field to see that this unemployment and also housing deficit is met. And what is the gain at the end of the day? Of course, that time, a lot of unemployed youth were getting jobs. Some, at least one company, no matter how small it is, as long as real estate is concerned, of course, definitely, there must be at least minimum 5 staffs. And then how about realtors? Realtors are freelancers that these people make effort to train. The point I'm trying to make is so that you can see what this sector have really done to see that a lot of challenges in Nigeria, it reduced. Okay? There are so many villagers that don't even have 1 naira.
That's true.
And these people coming to buy their property help them to train their children, especially in Lagos State. The trend suddenly started coming down. Why? Because there are so many man-made obstructions. There are so many developers they have dragged to EFCC, and these people don't even know. I'm not saying they are not bad eggs. There are. In fact, why is it difficult in Lagos? There are some places in the east, it takes you only 6 months to get a C of O. You go there, they tell you the ratio of this one and that one, you already know what to pay. Can't Lagos State? Even C of O in Lagos doesn't make sense anymore. Some of them, they tell you the vocation. Government should encourage businesses to come in, but our own, we are pushing them away. But if a developer can comfortably come out and tell you how much he spent on getting those titles, those clients will keep quiet.
Okay, another beautiful afternoon here in Toda Media, and this is Orange Vibes. It keeps getting better time after time, and every person coming here, we're making good marks, and today is gonna be a remarkable day. And the topic we're looking at today is navigating the ups and downs of real estate, strategies for success. Mr. Tony, what will you say about this topic?
This is mind-blowing. In fact, you know what? We're going to be doing a lot of justice on this area because both developers, both realtors, they are really frustrated this period because of some certain decision that has been taken by the top authorities. All right? So, but I'm happy that here in the house, we have a powerful woman. I'm not even going to be doing introduction on that, okay? She's going to be doing, justice to this area in real estate. And I'm sure that we're going to learn. Please don't go anywhere if you're there. Just relax, take a teacup, sit down and watch this podcast. Thank you so much.
So, we have a wonderful guest in the studio today. And just before I introduce her, I'm going to be reading her portfolio. Okay? And here in the studio, we have a woman who is a trailblazing force in the real estate industry, a graduate of accounting from University of Nigeria, Nsukka, and also a master's degree holder in international relations, Lagos State University, with a remarkable journey that began as a dedicated realtor and evolved into a successful developer. She has built an impressive portfolio of properties across Lagos and beyond. She has won many awards in sales, real estate exhibitions and has trained lots of realtors in sales who are now developers. She is one of the committee of the real estate developers in Nigeria, REDAN. Her expertise, passion, and commitment to excellence have earned her a reputation as a leader in her field. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in extending a warm welcome to our esteemed guest, Mrs. Kati Ebere Ike. Thank you so much, ma.
Thank you, Tony.
Mama, you're welcome.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure having you in the studio, ma. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Ma has been the journey into business, real estate, trainings, and everything. Has been the journey so far.
Well, real estate is just like it's fun.
Yeah.
At the same time, there are so many ups and downs, but above it all, it's a very lucrative business and field to be in, because as long as life is concerned, there must be real estate business. It's always about lands, houses. We can't live in the trees now or in the forest. Definitely we need shelter.
Yeah.
So real estate across abroad and all that, it's an amazing organization to be in.
Thank you.
Or union. Yeah. Thank you.
so much, ma.
Thank you.
Okay, ma, my first question for today is Nigerian real estate sector is in a tough spot. With the current economic climate and policy changes, everyone from developers to clients is feeling the pinch. What's behind these challenges?
Okay, first of all, I would like to zero out my major points to Lagos State.
Yeah.
Because the reality is that whatever is happening in Lagos State is not happening in some other places in Nigeria.
That's true.
Okay, Lagos is assumed to be like one of the major cities that have highest amount of population. And probably because of that, real estate has really gotten to the point whereby you can say that Lagos State experiences boom in sales.
That's true.
Why? Because of the population. Okay, and because of that, probably because also the topography of Lagos, which is by the seaside, and of course a lot of things happen, businesses and all that. So that has really made a lot of people migrate. A lot of Nigerians migrate to Lagos State and all that. So the population of Lagos State is crazy. So it has actually helped real estate in so many ways in terms of sales. Now, over the time, nobody have really heard about real estate boom until around 2020, between 2016 and 2021 or thereabout, when the private sectors, in their numbers, decided to go into that sector. And from record and all that, if you statistics shows that real estate experienced a very major boom, increase sales and all that. But in the recent time, a lot of unemployed youths, in Nigeria, were part of the movement that really made that happen then. Why? Because private sectors, enter the union, the business, and were able to use their resources to be able to, enter that field. And that really helped that sector. Because when you see, for example, if you check America, the 5 people that built America, I don't know if you have watched that movie. Okay. The JP Morgans, the Vanderbilts. At least it was after then that you see the Ford, the Carnegie and all that, they were there. And these private sectors,
These are all private sectors.
yes, that really built America. In fact, they said the 5 men that built America. If you go through those, if you watch that movie, you will see that a country cannot survive by themselves. I mean, the governments cannot survive by themselves. You need private sectors. Okay, not just in real estate, but in so many other sectors. Any country that have a lot of private sectors, individuals coming in, you know, first of all, you see employments and so many things. So let me just cut it down to what we are talking about, which is real estate. Okay. Now, between 2016, 2015, thereabout, to 2021, 2020, you notice that boom. Why was that? A lot of private sectors came in there. Okay? Nigerians are die-hard people.
That's true.
And it's experienced that boom because of those people. Lands, houses, and all that. Those days when we used to hear of a Gowon estate and all those, one kind old, just go to beggar around my two. You see one estate like that. No, it wasn't trending. It wasn't interesting. And as at that time, you could only notice very few people that were into that. A lot of Igbo men, a lot of Yorubas, a lot of Hausas private sectors came into this field to see that this unemployment and also housing deficit is met.
Yes.
And what is the gain at the end of the day? Of course, that time, a lot of unemployed youth were getting jobs, working in some, at least one company, no matter how small it is. As long as real estate is concerned, of course, definitely, there must be at least minimum 5 staffs. And this was reducing a lot of things. Talk more of where it's a very big company. And then how about realtors? Realtors are freelancers that these people make effort to train, okay? Teach them the markets, the business, and of course, you see a lot of them learn so many things, diversifying so many things, do videos, learn so many things instead of being lazy, so that they can market these products and make gain for themselves. And some of them make the commissions. Some of them make 2%, 3%, 5%.
Even down to 15%.
Well, that is just maybe on a rare occasions where you see maybe they need to promote a certain new product and all that, and within a time it dies down and all that. But the point I'm trying to make is that these people, before I talk about the challenges and all that, the point I'm trying to make is so that you can see what this sector have really done to see that a lot of challenges in Nigeria it reduced. Okay, of course, the housing deficit, the unemployment, and of course, there are so many villagers that don't even have 1 naira.
That's true.
And these people coming to buy their property help them to train their children to get hospital and all that, better their lives, especially in Lagos State.
Even enhance their community.
Exactly. Now, the trend suddenly, started coming down. Why? Because there are so many man-made obstructions. Like between 2020 and 2021, I was expecting the government of Lagos State, all due respect, this interview is not to bring down or talk down on anybody, but I would like them, if this can get to them, they can actually reason with the private sector, especially RIDAN. RIDAN is an association of private sectors that have come together to see that they form a unified union that is orderly. So that, because in every business you have the bad eggs too.
That's true.
Okay, so this union has come to so that there can be this union, so that anybody that is into this and all that will be known, and any of our people in diaspora in Nigeria that invest through these people will always be safe. Trust me. A lot of these private sectors have been going through a lot between 2021 and now. you notice a lot of Japa syndrome.
Exactly.
You know, everybody wants to leave the economy and the country. And at the end of the day, these die-hard private individuals decided to add to the system. And that's why, yes, add of course,
a lot to the system.
to the system. And that's why all this. But when this, I don't know, this recent trend, downward trend and all that, all came up because of so many things. I've not seen any economy that survived by itself. I mean, the government. I was thinking that there could be this kind of understanding among developers, realtors, you know, to build this nation. But instead, these private sectors are being humiliated. They are being frustrated. They are being dragged. And they are human beings like you and I that ventured into business.
Exactly.
If they are scammers, they would have jackpot like others.
Exactly.
If they decide, if they want to, if their initial intention is to defraud people, I'm not sure you would have seen them still remaining and still standing. Some have died. In fact, one of them, well, I won't mention name, one of us that had a lot of property in Ekpe just died like that.
Really?
BP, depressions, and so many of these frustrations. Because you can see someone came into the business, you buy a property, you go to the villagers, you buy the property. The government duty or the authority duty is for you to come do what? Perfect the documents. Okay? But even in the midst of the whole thing, it's either you are losing the land to what they call land grabbers, or maybe the families come up with their agreed arrangement or fights. Why would somebody sell property that belongs to his father? All of a sudden, his cousins will come up again and they start fighting one person, one company. And before you know it, a property you probably bought, maybe you bought it like 2 or 3 years ago to resell. And when it's time for you to sell it, maybe you bought it, for example, you bought it 1 million. And when you want to take possession, another group comes in. And they tell you that property is my father's father, whatever, which was not a fight, probably an arranged, because some of them also come together at the end of the day.
And plan something.
Yes, of course. So at the end of the day, you see someone after putting fence, another group comes and brings it down and tell you that is another family. And meanwhile, you have done your research, gone to Alausa, do whatever research you need to do. At the end of the day, you start looking stupid. Even your lawyers, your surveyors, all of you start looking stupid as if you have not done any due diligence, at least the foundational due diligence of the product you wanted to buy. The next thing is the person can come up again because of this current state value of the location. Instead of collect, they will tell you to pay again. Else, they're selling it to Mr. B, C, D.
Jesus. Mama, is that what people are facing? Like developers?
I am telling you I'm not telling you stories of people. I have a property in I'm not going to name the place, but it's in Ekpede. After paying, I had to pay like ×2 plus of what I bought the property, and I've lost part of the property. I have fenced it, and I lost that particular place I fenced. They relocated me to another place.
Hey!
I have fenced. It is my money, and now I've started selling because it's my own. That one is for what the challenges developers face with for the community, the villagers, and what have you.
Not
That's one side.
Just one
So
side.
yes, the greed of men, they want to frustrate you. And what is the authority doing about it? Nothing. Nothing. Now, I don't want to even go to I'll go to the authorities, because that one too is another ball game entirely. Okay, but these are individuals that have come out to do business. At the end of the day, you see the person losing entirely everything. It's either you have the money to buy it again from the second family, or they have sold your property to another person. In fact, one of those days, a developer in Redan called me because he saw my signage. First of all, they will remove your signage so that whoever they want to sell it to will not see it. But luckily for mine, I think the signage was very, very strong. It was difficult. I used a strong galvanized whatever. Yes, in as much as it's not very big, but it couldn't move. And I didn't use flyers, graphics, all those frames. I used panel.
Oh, okay.
And then it wasn't. So the person checked my website and called me. And when he called me, he told me, "Madam, these people wants to sell your property. You have fenced." As in, the fencing was about 7 coach up.
Wow.
Yes, that was the challenge I had there. I lost those property. When I now paid, I paid as small as I could grab. And these are properties that some clients have bought. Will you go back to your client and start telling them, look at the bullshit? Sorry for using that word. But yes.
They have made payments, some of them.
Of course, you have finished payment. So you have to assume the payment again. And if care is not taken, probably another third person will come in. And finally, to add salt to the injury, the organ on top will come up with their own. We say we want to do documentation. Does it mean an individual cannot do a documentation of their lands? They come up with what we call global allocation. Not even global C of O. And if you check the bill, it is up there. We are human beings like you and I. How much? You sell a property, 1 million naira. And so once somebody is telling you to come and do the title for 10 million.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, can't we just be realistic? Can't we be human? Yes.
How can an average buyer buy this? If at the end of the day,
No,
decide to make
in fact, let me even tell you, those days, realtors will advise prospects.
Okay.
Please come and buy. See, don't wait until, leave those highbrow areas, come to a developing side. You will see one man will enter inside thick forest. Buy forest. Develop the road. Sandfill the road. And start selling it to people. At the end of the day. With all the sandfilling, with all the work the developer has piled into that particular place, and maybe bought the property, let's say 1 million. Okay, I just want to feel cool to use 1 million, and maybe he did expenses of over 2 million naira there, which it will be 3 million, right?
Yeah.
And he will probably pay people that will sell, or workers, or rent, or vehicles to convey clients. In fact, some clients you have to feed them.
Yeah.
After a long journey
I've seen a lot of developers.
Yes. You buy fuel. After a long journey of drive, make them comfortable, and you have to do all that. And at the end of the day, you probably say, okay, let me sell it 5 million. Because of all the processes that you are doing business, you want to make gain as well. Somebody will come up with money and tell you that the land belongs to his other person. Now they will now put the land, they will now tell you to pay 5 million or 6 million if you want to get the land back from them.
Can you imagine? Wait, that's what you guys are facing.
Yes.
Developers are going through.
Yes,
so
if a lot of developers can come up.
Developers are going through so much.
Yes.
So where is that now their own game?
Yes. I want to even say that in the midst of all these things, it's not even the clients that are losing. It is those human beings that decided to still be part of this Nigeria that are being frustrated. It is something to cry, but crying cannot stop it. I practically lost two places. In fact, these are money that I was selling for how many years? Because I went into development as 2021.
Okay.
So it took me like from 2024 to that year, that is how long it took me to generate fund. Because I was selling like Jackie. In fact, I sell like I market like, I don't know, like I'm breathing. Yes. And I will go to one of the forests. Sometimes you have to I wish I can give you some clip of where sometimes I will enter canoe inside water. Enter canoe because I'm looking for cheap land. I will be buying, maybe sometimes I'll go and buy, if I get commission, I will go and buy like 6 plots. I'll buy another one, 6 plots, just to tell you the extent and how deliberate so many people are in this industry. And at the end of the day, by the time you finish it, you've gone with nothing. And people are dragging you to EFCC. There are so many developers they have dragged to EFCC, and these people don't even know. I'm not saying they are not bad eggs. There are. But in every can you tell me, is there any business in Nigeria is there any business that doesn't have the bad guys there? Even these social medias you see, there are bad guys there. There is no business but I'm trying to portray this fact that the realtors also have been going through, but you can't compare their own with the developer. In the midst of these things, I think the problems are man-made. Because if you check as far back as maybe 2 years, 3 years ago, you will see the government themselves coming out saying so many things that were not true. If, first of all, you want a CO4 on the land, can you please say? In fact, why is it difficult in Lagos? There are some places in the east, it takes you only 6 months to get a C of O. 6 months.
Why is it like that?
I don't know. There are some places in the east, as I'm telling you, C of O is like everything. The platform is there. The platform is there. You go there, they tell you the ratio of this one and that one. You already know what to pay. Can't Lagos State, even if you don't keep some places. Now, if you go and do a search, those days you will see excision, exercised, gazetted. Okay. Now, all those lands that had those whatever, go there now. You will see what they have placed there. Some of them they'll tell you revocation. I mean, even CO4 in Lagos doesn't make sense anymore. So why are you frustrating people? Government should encourage businesses to come in, but our own, we are pushing them away. Which sector in Nigeria is easy? Is it importation? The most scary part is that you cannot get things working normally. In fact, it's abnormal for things to work normal. Somebody will tell you now, okay, come and do this. You see so many noise on social media. But at the end of the day, how many of those noise are actually true if you want to follow the normal process? Can't we be realistic for once? If you enter inside one jungle, somebody will tell you before you can do whatever. I don't even want to go deeper in that process. But if a developer can comfortably come out and tell you how much he spent on getting those titles, those clients will keep quiet. Those clients will see that this is time for us to reason out these things. Let there be a roundtable and let there be a dialogue. The government is the major issues in this thing, because first of all, if all these platforms we have a land documentation. In fact, I've not even started developing building. But those of my colleagues that are into building, if they can come out and tell you what they go through before they even get building approval. The processes, the crazy things they go through. I mean, can't this thing just work normally within 2 months? You have checked it, the soil texture, the whatever it is, and
which is possible.
Now, let me tell you another thing. A developer can charge for a house, maybe let's say for a bungalow now. Let's say, I'm not saying there's a bungalow for that amount, but let's say 15 million naira for 3 bedroom. Okay? He has already calculated with the quantity surveyors and all that, and their building engineers and all that, calculated, make survey of what the price a client should pay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. But in the process of trying to acquire some other things, the prices have gone up. External factors. At the end of the day, it calls the clients to a round table, explain this thing with facts as what's transpired. Of course, anybody that you won't blame them. They've already convinced me that I can get this as so whatever it is. In fact, there was one of my clients then. He came back, it was 5 million on top of the thing and all that. And at the end of the day, the reality is that when you are doing installments, such can also happen. If you default, there are some that default, and at the end of the day, they try to shift the blames as well. There are some also that are honest without having whatever it is, or being defaulting in any way, and it could be the developer themselves that also caused it, because Nigeria is a very volatile,
Very highly
volatile. For business, you just
everything up and down, ups and down.
if you never get BP for Lagos business, okay, you're a strong person. If you never get BP, check all the developers. I am telling you, if they are 100, 90 are taking BP drugs, whether you are 30 or 30 something years old.
Mama, see, it is not that you are trying to explain this now, that I'm not getting the picture of what you are saying. Because I noticed one thing. All the investors, they're always blaming developers. All blame go to developers. Even some realtors, you understand? They always blame developers every time. Now, I discovered that some of them, they don't just want to open up, but this is what they are going through.
Exactly.
They are passing through this pain. Yes. And I like the fact that you're trying to speak their mind. Because of the truth, things like this, it is very important for investors,
yeah.
You understand, subscribers, to also have to know about this thing. You understand? They need to know about it, because really, these are the pain you are going through. You can imagine some of these developers, they have good intention.
Yes, of course.
Some of them, aside the elites, they want to help young men who are earning salary. Some people are doing petty business to also own a land. Because I've seen so many realtors, that they've met with developers who has created a system that can actually help, average citizen to also own a land. So it won't look as if only the elites that is having property. You understand? In the sense that what they do is that they with pain, tears, they will go to villages. What they're trying to do is that they're trying to see how they can be able to also develop that place, so that average buyer will quickly gain advantage by buying property over there. Yeah, so that in time to come, they too can also become a billionaire, because that was how it started from the elites. You understand, Abi?
True.
So now, at the end of this whole thing now, it now look as if you people don't really know what you are doing. All the blame is now going on you. Whereas, if they check very well, the problem is not really from you guys. If not the way you are just trying to educate these other things. Do you understand?
A lot of people need to understand these factors, because if they don't get to understand it, they will just they'll feel that real estate in Lagos developers are scams. But these are not. I have a friend who is in UK right now, and this is the same thing that he's telling me. He said the company scammed him. And I said, this company, it's not like scam, it's what they are going through currently now. That is, so it's not like it's a scam. It's just their current situation, what they're going through.
Yes.
Because that was the exact thing that he was saying to me. He told me that that the property he bought now, that he doesn't understand what is happening in Lagos. Okay. That they told him a personal scheme and the operations like this, that doesn't want anything to come and bring. Now, looking at developers, let's look at developers on the long run. A lot of developers right now has really helped. I can say that private sector has helped more than government in Nigeria. Yes. 100 times.
Yes.
Because if you look at after graduation from school, there are many graduates who came roaming about. You see, most developers brought them in as realtors. Yes. They started teaching them digital marketing,
Exactly.
and other skills.
Diversify into so many other things.
Mama, do you know how many people currently who they don't even know where to go as realtors?
Yes.
Many of them started like POS. I've met with a lot of realtors and I've been opportune to ask them. I've interviewed so many here who started from scratch, became mighty, and I tell you that in this sector was what changed my life and story. They don't even have direction.
Yes.
I know one currently who teaches digital marketing. It was real estate that taught her. That taught her digital marketing and other skill.
Yes.
Through this, they have been able to acquire a lot of skill. And you just I'm so sorry to say government didn't look at all these parts because affecting developers now is affecting the system.
Yes.
The former president of Nigeria made a statement and said that there is no job anywhere. Now, how do you want these young people to fend? These are the more people that employed, even down to this office currently, this third office, we were paying about 4 to 5 people down to this place. Mm-hmm. Now, we're paying them salary, even here in Toda. Yes. Now, looking at the multitude of private sectors that employed a lot of people paying them, how many can continue that payment with what is happening? Is government not supposed to empower these people so that they will relieve the country of all this?
And individual now decide to come out now. So let's help this issue.
In fact, actually, real estate does what they call commission. So the person doesn't even have to be working for you. He has to just be a freelance, be doing all that work. But once he can be able to get his... Do you know how many families that realtors are brought down to Nigeria to buy land? Many of them don't even reason it. They just stay there, grow old there and forget all about here. But this association, will I even call it association? Really brought these people, brought their mind back home. Now, a lot of them doesn't even want to do anything again. And it's so sad. It's sad. Because naturally, I was thinking the economy or the government should have like, okay, Redan, since we have no one understand your organization, we will have this bush. We want us to do this. Do you understand? Okay, we can work with you and all that and all that. Partnering with how many people? If you create monopoly, is it monopoly they call it again?
Yeah, monopoly.
Exactly.
System of monopoly. Exactly.
If you create it, I'm telling you, people, even the middle class cannot even afford it. Honestly, do you remember when MTN, Glo, and Econet? Is it Econet?
Yes, Econet.
I bought my SIM card 53,000 something SIM card. Why? Because they were just three. And now you have so many. At the end of the day, you don't even pay for SIM card. That's the same thing with all these things you see. You have to let more people come in, but let it have a screening, a combing, so that the bad shifting, sieve it, so that bad eggs and the good ones, come. So that is what Redan has come to do. I'm not here to talk about more of Redan, but I'm talking about developers at large. Okay, so Lagos State actually is not really the only place. Of course, a lot of other places too have experienced this boom. Why? Because when Lagos came up with their inconsistency, documentation wise, and land frictions, chaos, a lot of people, developers also migrated to some other states as well. But even you can't compare also the population here with those ones, but at least people feel where they can be safer. You do your documentation, you are seeing it and all that. But I think Lagos State government should really look into this thing, because this government should be for the people. Okay? If more of more of foreigners come into your system and occupy your land, and then your people are getting frustrated, the more of the villagers, the communities are losing their properties. So supposedly a development that they don't really gain anything from. I think it's a scam. Because those days we used to know that yes, except government needs this place for a road And in fact, look at the massive destruction. That one is another climax entirely. Look at titled lands. People lost their properties. People that have built lost their properties, and the government doesn't even feel like they own these people an apology or something.
I think also that they wish to compensate some of them.
Have you seen so many of them in some private groups that talked about how nobody even came to them to even explain anything to them or what have you? I have, yes. There are so many documentaries that pisses me off to listen to, because at the end of the day, you realize that people just lost their properties for nothing. I think recently I had one of the top politicians talking about a property that was destroyed, demolished without an. So can we keep playing politics and we are losing our people? Are we going to keep playing politics and we are losing billions and trillions of naira in constructions, people's private possessions? And these are the same people you are calling now to come and buy government land. So what is the guarantee that it will be safe? Maybe one regime will come up again and you are having
That's the fear.
So I think they have to be intentional about what they are doing, because the truth remains that you travel out there, you see what other countries do in their country, and ours, instead of encouraging more of such things to keep happening, you are indirectly chasing it away. I mean, why frustrate the process? Why?
Wait, now with all these things that is going on, because I'm trying to fathom the intention behind all of these things. So I don't know, do you have an idea of, like, what do you think is the intention of the government doing all of this, trying to, because I feel probably maybe they want to take up the real estate business on their own. You understand? In the sense that trying to maybe they want to advise buyers, subscribers to now start buying property from government so that they'll be getting government allocation. Because I don't understand. Are they trying to remove the private sector to take part of the business, or what?
Well, I cannot really explain why they are doing that, but I know that those days it was just strictly government. You can see a lot of it. How many private estates did you know then? Go one estates. All those at the end of the day, what kind of amenities do they have there? Is it something to reckon with? So if you have gone through that route before, it didn't work out, and you see that developers, private people are doing, amazing things. The best thing is to see that because the part of government is about making sure that the building and the constructions you are doing is, intact.
Okay, ma. Now, with all of these things that is happening right now, what do you think that government can be able to do, or what do you think that can be done to be able to bring this business, this real estate business? Because me looking at it right now, a lot of people they are frustrated. Okay, these three arms, they are frustrated. First of all, subscribers are frustrated. I won't lie to you. People that have bought property scattered in different areas in Lagos, even outside Lagos. Some of them, they cannot trace their property. They cannot. Realtors, some developers in diaspora, even the one within Nigeria, dragging them up and down.
Investors.
You understand? Yeah. Dragging them up and down. That the property you showed me, I've gone there, it's a scam, this, that. Now, developers are crying that the head of authority, which is the government, are really frustrating their effort.
And the villagers, communities.
And the villagers are still dragging them. You understand? Some villagers have a property that they can sell to almost like 4 developers.
Yes.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
These people, they're not sincere.
They can sell it to 5 people and they are cool. Those are the areas I was actually thinking government can really come in and start helping out. Because the truth is that if any developer goes to Alausa and do a survey of a particular place. Of course, nobody can come there, do something that is not their land, or they've not had an arrangement with the family. They understand. But at the end of the day, I don't even know how these things go. At the end of the day, you still see one plot, one place sold to 5 people. And they are fighting and killing themselves. In fact, there was one, they almost killed my colleague in his estate. Because he went there with his security, they would have killed him.
Which area is that?
In Ekpe, some part of Ekpe, Eragushi area or so. Yes. I had something there and all that. And to this family, oh God, I don't want to talk about that place. I had to, in fact, I had to move. I lost a lot in that place. You see millions being thrown away like water, like where you put cup of water and it sleeps and it pours like that. That is how people's years, 10 years, 5 years of hard-earned money is being
Just go like that.
Yes. So developers are not really the culprits here. Why I say really is because some of them have some mistakes they've done, which is maybe probably not doing proper due diligence. Because there are some that, of course, you see this land is government and they will key in. I'm not that fact. I'm not saying that all are practicing the thing, the real thing. But still, there are so many faults that are not theirs. Really, the external forces are the real problem in there. Yes. So I am coming to the question you asked about
what do you think that can be done for it to be on track, to bring back the real estate sector
Well, I
on
think
track?
you have to go back to the table again. Both governments, developers, the villagers, realtor, and of course some investors that are interested to know. Why? Because real estate in Lagos State has become, in the recent time, it's looking like government is indirectly, gathering the whole thing to themselves and dish out the major, how do I put it now? The major process. Dish it out. That this is exactly the way it should be. Do you get? And at the end of the day, I still believe from now till tomorrow that government cannot provide the housing deficit. Solve the housing deficit problem in Nigeria. It's not no country has ever done that. You need the private sectors, and the best thing you can do is to empower them, to assist them, to make things flow. But in Lagos, there's one we have, La Serera. You have so many things you have to pay for. And by the time you do it, you don't really see their value, what they are actually doing. It's all about spending and keep spending. When it's time that you need them to come out and ask, in fact, what is a function of these things? Is it in land title documentation? Or what? You buy a land you have sold to somebody, 1 million naira. And you want to go and acquire something so that when you begin the process, you can now call the investors to come and join you so that you can see that these documents are properly acquired. But when you to even start it, you yourself cannot even go back to your investor and say, this process, the land that you bought 1 million naira, before we are done, you'll be paying 5 million naira.
How does it sound?
It's crazy. It's crazy. This developed. In fact, I'm just telling you my own. There was one. I went to the villagers community. We met. We did. We paid. We started payments and all that. They told us, okay, this is where your land begins and all that. But do you know by the time we are done, I'm telling you, water. You know Lagos now.
Water.
By the time we are done, if I tell you how many kilometers away that they went to push us, that is where our land is. And the project you budgeted to do like maybe 50 million, you end up.
Only road construction alone.
In fact, there was one, the money to use to develop the estate, we practically use it to disavow because clients are not interested. They're like, wait, oh, is it that you don't have the property or that you don't? I'm telling you, they have given you property, and all of a sudden, fight don't start. They now push you to where inside one jungle. So possession, this is your place. They cut it and all that. Doesn't mean in Lagos. Doesn't mean you have acquired it. That is your own. And when government now come, I don't know how they even manage to do those things, because at the end of the day, they tell you. In fact, there was one that is, it is something to cry for. You enter one place they call a talking in Ekpe after Ketu roundabout. You see a particular place that is more than 5 communities, and they tell you it belongs to one company, one single person, one company. How real is that? I mean, how can somebody have that kind of stake? Okay, why is it that those things were not in record when those developers went to search it? Why were those things not in the? You go to the new town plan, you go to urban and regional, you go to surveyor general office, you do all that. At the end of the day, you are seeing one, I don't know, it is crazy. Anybody will no get liver, make you not venture into Lagos real estate as a developer, because you will die before the big business starts.
Now who get mind into the business?
You will die. Because everybody will pull you. They will drag you. Investors will drag you. Your staff, in fact, salary, they will drag you. Your rent, they will drag you. Realtors will drag you. Government will drag you. Villagers and go, in fact, don't even go in there. There are so many people that have diversified into other things, because the journey is not for the faint-hearted.
Because they just believe that once a developer, he has everything, as if they are printing the resources.
Me, I was doing one other small business those days, but when I have grown thick skin. In fact, there was a content one of my friends put the other day that a guy was dancing and all of a sudden, see fire. The thing caught fire and he was dancing. Some people were screaming, yeah. You see what the man dancing did? He went to carry hand, come on the fire, put it on the ground, bang, use his leg, do it like this and continue his dancing. That is the kind of mind you should have when you want to go into real estate construction or whatever in Lagos State. Yes.
You need to be choleric in nature.
I'm telling you.
Because even money will come with their own wahala again. No. Now I could remember that time when
EFCC will come and carry you. At the end of the day, you go still tell them what is. Because if this guy is a scammer, if he's a fraudster, you will know. By the kind of life he or whatever he sees and everything. You see somebody that has not even, he's trying to build empire for people and all that, so that maybe in the near future your story can bring you back the dividends. And all of a sudden, everybody is dragging one. No. Make them clap for the developers. Honestly,
they need it.
Yeah? Even our women have turned to men. Those of us, because you cannot keep. It's not something. The journey is not for you to be crying.
Yeah, what is cry? Cry most of it.
Tears will not even come out. I'm telling you, some people don't drop dead because of they can't fathom. In fact, villagers, you can even still, you can still discuss and all that, but government is a prime major problem of this, because most of those lands, if you check it and trace it, government will tell you they have put one embargo on it that was not there before. So if this has to work, governance should remember that they were once civilians and people like us before we elected them to go there and represent us. It shouldn't be something that when you are up there, you are using your leg to kill. No. Directly and indirectly, they have destroyed a lot of homes without knowing it. Because any man you go and point his house and bring that house down, you have killed generations.
A lot of people benefiting.
Their children are there. Generations are there. What are you saying to those children? And again, if you are destroying, remember that these are hard-earned money of Nigerians. Some of them traveled abroad, do cleaning job, do a lot of other things, work for their money. How many shifts a day? And their cousins, their sisters in Nigeria is telling them, oh yeah, uncle, bring auntie, bring brother, bring your money down here. Let's build something so that people can be renting. You will be seeing small, and you have destroyed it because you are in power. It is sad. And I'm talking to the government. It is not easy on the developers. Whatever it is you are doing, consider that there is tomorrow. If all these developers can japa and not want to do anything for Nigeria or for their economy, you cannot do it. Except you want all of us, we share the country and everybody collect their own, and we look for one African country to go and hide ourselves. Because there must be a remnant. There must be a remnant. Stop frustrating the developers. All these embargoes, high rise of C of O, allocation. We don't need this. We should balance everything. Everybody must not be billionaires. Everybody must not be. They are the middle class amongst us. If you say it's in Ekpe, you want them to go and live, let them go and allow that. Of course, some people are really migrating to some other places, but there are some that want to be in Lagos. So please help us. Help the developers to see reasons why these things can work. If it's that, okay, this place we don't want it, want to build, look for other places for them where they can manage their life and do instrumentally, and at least let there be, okay, in a Ikoyi, C of O there is 100 million. Then in Ekpe, other parts of this thing should be zoned so that people can find their where they belong and are moving. Because the more of these things, people would not want to invest their money again to build houses and all that. Okay, so that's just it. If we must move forward, I think a lot has to come from the government. If it's that you want to comb down fraudulent developers, this is not the best way, by painting even the good ones bad. Because these people actually brought this money, invested it, and then called their diasporan brothers and sisters, come and buy. Those that are middle class in Nigeria, bros, you can actually get a 2-bedroom bungalow, this and all that in this place. Some of them cannot even build. They are buying buildings. And at the end of the day, the buildings are being brought down. And frustration left, right, and center. So please, I think we should stop all this and stop killing people indirectly.